Hello, my wonderful people, my viewers and subscribers all over the world. On a way down, I don't land again, like Land Rover. This one, Kute Daily Talk, 9 day here. In case this is your first time of hearing my voice and you never subscribe, kia, touch that subscription button. It is free of charge, nobody is going to charge you any money. And make sure you turn on the notification button so that you'll be notified each time we go live or post something new on this channel. Breaking news, this one is coming from all the way Appeal Court, where they in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, Nigeria. Appeal Court, you don't feel there to hear this IPOB's appeal against prescription. This prescription where President Muhammadu Buhari don't prescribe IPOB as a terrorist group. Now, court have already set aside the date which they will hear this suit that Ifeanyi Ejiofor have filed against the federal government of Nigeria, which the IPOB leader, where his name be Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is also joined in the suit. So this is now so the thing take bio. If you never subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. Welcome to this Thursday morning broadcast. On I know as we take do amo na turn by turn. Sorry, not Thursday, Wednesday. Sorry to say, please. Pardon my manners. So let us take another headline. This one is talking about I will strike out your money laundering suit against Atiku. Court, don't bring their eyes out. Don't they want this fake son of APC where his name be Festus Keyamo. Another one here, this one is another breaking news. INEC significantly less prepared. Voters disenfranchised. Chatham House, they don't come out and give their own verdict on the just concluded presidential election where happened on the 25th of February 2023. This one is coming from our brother, that entertainer, where his name be Charlie Boy. He's a Badebo Rose. Charlie Boy reacts to claims that Igbos will take over Lagos State. This one is coming all the way from the camp of Charlie Boy, the area father. ISWAP terrorist attack key man on Borno Road. This one is coming barely how many days after the presidential election, whereby we are preparing to head to the polling unit again or to the ballot for the House of Reps and the governorship elections. Another one is here. This one is coming from the camp of the PCC in the APC. Fanika Yodeo, he don dey under fire over his comment he made on that Labour Party governorship candidate where his name be Road Survivor in Lagos State. The netizens they don't carry this man up, carry him up, reaching like a 9-story building. Now so they take knock FFK for ground. Boza. Now as we're talking to you now, this man he take treatment for hospital because of waiting obedient to tell him. And because of the Akana attack, where they attack him spiritually, no be physical attack, so that he not come and begin to bombard me with comments now, say my news na fake. This one na spiritual attack, now they give this man. Man, okay, it's breaking news. This man he don't struggle to his girlfriend. I be his wife, he don't struggle them to death because the woman refused to open gate on time. This one, wonders never end in this country called Nigeria. I don't know what we call this one. Refusing to open gate on time. I be delayed to open gate on time. My dear people, we will come back for the main news. Lagos State, this one is coming. PDP don't tackle Bode George. This one a chieftain of the People Democratic Party over endorsement of Labour Party candidate. Which candidate of a Labour Party? Na presidential. I been a governorship candidate. We don't know, but let us take it one after the other. Another breaking news: Nigerians must insist on Mamudu Yakubu Sasaki. Kenneth Okonkwo reacts as INEC suspends Sokoto rec. Okay, INEC they suspend Sokoto rec. Where we say the main man, where be INEC chairman, he no even worthy to call a chairman. Peter Bitokamo say if you want to answer excellency, make sure that the process that brought you into that office is excellent. This Peter B will not kill me. This one breaking news: Peter B he don't receive female Federal Capital Territory Senator elect King Gibe photos. You don't match, you don't see him. She is here with her certificate of return. Obi, you are really doing well for yourself and for the people of Nigeria. So my good people, we are taking off to our news now. Please tighten your seatbelt and grab your popcorn because we are going to take you to very high altitude. This news, we are starting it with the Biafran news and the appeal which have been tabled on the appeal court of Nigeria sitting in Abuja. The appeal court sitting in Abuja has fixed October 16, 2023 to hear the appeal of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, challenging its proscription as a terrorist organization by the Muhammadu Buhari-led federal government of Nigeria. Nigeria News, they don't report this case that the appellate court will also hear an application filed by the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to be joined as an interested party in that same case. Already hear him. So the young man, he don't say he want to join the party or be the party in the case, according to the news. IPOB, through his lawyer, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, is praying the appellate court to set aside in its entity the ruling and the final decision of the late former chief judge of the Federal High Court, Justice Abdul Kafarati, which on September 15, 2017 outlawed its activities in Nigeria. Recall that the High Court prescribed IPOB on the strength of an ex parte motion. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, where he named be Mr. Abubakar Malami, SAN, filed on behalf of the federal government of Nigeria. The justice read here, and I quote, Justice Kafarati specifically declared as illegal all the activities of the group, particularly in the southeast and the south-south regions of the country. In other words, in a follow-up ruling on January 22 of 2018, the court dismissed a motion IPOB filed to challenge the legal validity of the prescription order, which it said was scrupulously obtained by the AGF. Justice Abdul Kafarati said he was satisfied that IPOB constituted a threat to national security and national peace. He rejected Ejiofor's argument that the group, not being a registered entity in Nigeria, could not be validly sued by the federal government of Nigeria. In his 5 grounds of appeal, IPOB contended that Justice Abdul Kafarati erred in law and occasioned a miscarriage of justice when he ruled that the mandatory statutory condition requiring President Muhammadu Buhari's approval under Section 2, 1 of subsection Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013 was satisfied on the authority of a memo the AGF issued on September 15 of 2017. IPOB told the appellate court that the lower court judge failed to evaluate, consider or mention in his ruling affidavit evidence that was tendered to establish that IPOB was not a violent organization. It said proper findings of facts built on the meticulous evaluation of affidavit evidence placed before the court below will resolve whether the activities and characters of the appellate, as clearly distinguished via compelling exhibits placed before the court, meet the threshold definition of terrorism acts as contemplated under Section 2, 1 subsection A, B, and C of the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act of 2013. The appellate's activities as contested in his written submission before the trial court, strongly supported by credible affidavit evidence, fall short of acts of terrorism as contemplated under the Section 2, 1 A, B, and C of the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act. This submission was not considered by the learned trial judge, according to the news. The learned trial judge justified the granting of the ex parte order of 20th September 2017. Via finding of facts predicted on issues he formulated suo motu, ostensibly closing his eyes to facts, as well as documents that show that the appellate is a group of persons holding a common political belief, largely made up of indigenous people of Igbo extraction and other neighboring regions, merely exercising their constitutional rights to self-determination within the bounds of relevant international instruments and conventions. Affidavit evidence placed before the trial court shows in clear terms that the appellate does not possess any form of arms or weapons in the exercise of their constitutional guaranteed rights, or have any history of violence, or had engaged in any form of killings. The activities of the appellate are essentially characterized by moving in groups with cardboards and placards in their hands, singing, blowing whistle and flutes in agitation for self-determination. These compelling facts, clearly supported by credible evidence, were not evaluated by the court below in its finding of facts, according to the news. Last year but not the least, activities of the appellate as demonstrated before the lower court is in sharp contrast with characters of notorious groups that have even used violence, such as Fulani herdsmen, which has been declared the fourth most dangerous terrorist organization in the world. And none of these violent groups has earned terrorist tag because the president most probably consider them as possessing or professing protected political beliefs. This one is according to President Muhammadu Buhari's leader demonstration. Here we have I will strike out your money laundering suit against Atiku. Court don't want Kiyamo. When they run your mouth, they tell you, say, make it be careful because very soon they will strike out this suit against Waziri Adamawa. The Federal High Court in Abuja has threatened to strike out a suit filed by the spokesperson of All Progressive Congress APC Presidential Campaign Council, where he named Festus Kiyamo, against former Vice President of Nigeria, where he named Atiku Abubakar. The presiding judge, Justice James Omotosho, who gave the warning on Tuesday, said the suit will be struck out on the next adjourned date if Kiyamo was not ready to diligently prosecute the case. How do you think he will do that? All this one now, they have given him something and he closed his mouth. Nigerian News report that the Minister of State for Labor and Employment has instituted the suit against Atiku over allegations bordering on money laundering. Also joined as defendants in the suit are the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, where the ICPC, and the Code of Conduct Bureau, which is CCB. Under the hearing, recall that Kiyamo had earlier asked law enforcement agencies to arrest Atiku based on an audio recording released by Michael Atumugu, his former aide. In the audio, and I quote, the former vice president was alleged to have explained how shell organizations were set up to divert public funds. Kiyamo is seeking an order compelling the anti-graft agency to invite or arrest and investigate, if found wanting, prosecute Atiku in respect of the information available to him. Where are your empirical evidences, according to Rufai Oseni? Upon resuming the hearing, at last hearing, the court granted an order to Kiyamo's counsel, Okechukwu Uju Azoji, to serve Atiku first defendant through substituted means. Uju Azoji said while they were planning to effect the service, the former vice president served on them his statement of defense. The lawyer who said he was here to serve Atiku the court order said he felt the defendant's statement of defense was incompetent since the former vice president was yet to be served their court papers. Of course, that is simply they are running faster than their solo because they know what is at stake. Justice Omoshoso recalled that he adjourned the matter because the defendants had 30 days to respond. Therefore, for Abubakar to have filed his application even before being served with the plaintiff originating process showed he was diligent in pursuing the case. Festus Keyamo, how far? On our way done. The judge then berated the senior lawyer for passing his failure to effect the service of his application on the incompetence of Abubakar's process because the news about the matter was on social media. Uzo Azoji also told the court that Keyamo was not in court to give his evidence in the matter. The judge then warned the lawyer against turning the court into a dumping ground of any sort. Uzo Azoji therefore prayed to the court for an adjournment to enable him to serve Abubakar with the originating processes. Justice Omotosho subsequently adjourned the matter until March 23 for hearing or striking out of the said case. And so the thing take be. This one is coming from Chatham House, London. INEC significantly less prepared. Voters disenfranchised. Chatham House gives verdict on presidential election. Chatham House, an independent policy institute based in London, has knocked the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC over the conduct of the 2023 presidential elections. Recall that INEC had declared Bola Ahmed Tinubu winner of Ahmed Tinubu of All Progressive Congress as the winner of the February 25th polls, defeating P2B of Labour Party and Atiku Abubakar of People's Democratic Party. Nigeria News reads, and I quote, report that Chatham House, also known as the Royal Institute of International Affairs, engages governments, the private sector, civil society, and its members in open debates. All the major presidential candidates in Nigeria were visitors to the organization before the presidential election. Writing for the body, the Associate Fellow, Africa Program, Dr. Lena Coney Hoffman, stated that from his analysis of the February 25th presidential poll, it would appear that INEC failed to learn new lessons. According to the institute, the general body did not adhere to its guidelines, which is enunciated before the poll, especially the one bordering on real-time uploading results right from the polling unit. Chatham House noted that the delayed opening of polls meant many potential voters could not vote, and that is the reason why we have poor turnout in the voting. Hoffman wrote to the INEC performance and controversies over these results mean that the electoral reforms and lessons declared declared to have been learned were not fully applied, and as an electoral body, it was significantly less prepared than it claimed in Chatham House. The logistical failure of INEC and widespread delayed opening of polling units meant that voters were showed up at the polls earlier, were frustrated, and many voters and INEC staff were not able to locate their polling units for several hours. Chatham stated that Nigerians queued in the sun and the rain to cast their votes, despite the current fuel crisis, epileptic power supply, record inflation, and a painful cash crunch. It added that despite their sacrifices, thousands of voters were disenfranchised and multiple irregularities were recorded, as well as intimidation and violence. Chatham House stated less than half of eligible voters could participate in the election, despite the commission of 305 billion naira budgetary allocation. While Nigeria youth seemed energized leading up to the elections, it seems their ability to turn out is still being hugely constrained by how difficult and potentially dangerous it is to cast a vote in Nigeria. The INEC's performance and controversies over these results mean that the electoral reforms and lessons declared to have been learned were not fully applied. At least 25.7%, the elections have the lowest recorded turnout of any election since Nigeria returned to democracy in 1999. Despite being the most expensive, these dwindling numbers highlight how Nigerian politics and state institutions continue to exclude rather than include in everything that they do. Badebo wrote, this one is coming from Charlie Boy Relax, that Igbos will take over Lagos State. Veteran Nollywood entertainer Charles Oputa, popularly known as Charlie Boy, the area father, had reacted to the claims making the round that Igbos will take over Lagos State someday. Nigerian report, and I quote, that ahead of the March 11 gubernatorial elections, some politicians in the state have alleged that Igbos plan to take over Lagos through the Labour Party candidate Badebo wrote Survivor. A chieftain of the All Progressive Congress APC, Femi Fani-Kayode, on Monday said his party will not allow Badebo Road Survivor to hand over the state to Igbos. Reacting via social media, Charlie Boy described the claims as silly propaganda and that people should stop spreading it. He questioned the means by which Igbos will chase the Yorubas out of the state or forcibly take over their lands and businesses. That is the question we need to ask ourselves here. He said, I beg you, some of my Yoruba brothers spreading silly rumors saying that their Igbo brothers want to take over Lagos. For what? To do what? Please stop it, Joe. I have even been branded a tribalist by this same mumu. See the answers one of my friends give to that rubbish. How will the Igbos take over? Will the Igbos use military to chase out the Yorubas from Lagos? Will they forcibly take over people's lands and businesses? That is the question that they need to answer. Will they sack traditional rulers in Lagos? God gave us brains to enable us reason. Stop parroting silly propaganda. This one is coming from the area father. ISWAP, he don't kill or he don't buy one man on Borno Road by their attack. The Islamic State of West African Province, ISWAP, reportedly blocked and attacked commuters on the road along Gajiram, Mongoro local government area of Borno State on Tuesday, Nigeria News learned. Counter-insurgents expert in the Lecture 2, Zagazola Makama, confirmed the incident today, noting that a man identified as Adamu Sadu was killed during the ambush. This is coming not long after insurgents reportedly killed no fewer than 200 Boko Haram fighters, women and children in a deadly rival clash in the Gudumbali area of Borno State. Makama had disclosed that ISWAP insurgents targeted hundreds of Boko Haram terrorists and their families at Chiloye village while fleeing ISWAP attacks. The terrorists reportedly fled their enclaves between February 26 and 27 amid deadly attacks targeting their enclaves in Gaizuwa, otherwise known as Mantari, Gabachari, Kashamare, and Memusare in Bama local government area. According to Zagazola Makama, the sustained attacks had led to the dislodgement of hundreds of fighters in the forest. According to them, the source revealed that Boko Haram terrorists have had scampered to safety, ran towards the Mandara Mountains in the Gwazo axis to seek refuge when the troops attacked them. Fani-Kayode is under fire over comments on Labour Party's Rose Vival. Former Minister of Aviation, the Hungary Aviation Minister, Femi Fani-Kayode, has come under fire over his verbal attack on the Labour Party governorship candidate in Lagos State, Badobe Roads Vival, GRV. Nigeria News reported that Fani-Kayode had in series of tweets said the All Progressive Congress APC will not allow Rhodes Vival to become the Lagos governor due to his support for the Igbos. In a series of tweets via his Twitter account on Monday, Fani-Kayode accused Rhodes Vival of joining the mob to burn buses during the NSAS protest. Where is your empirical evidence? Please present it before the court and we will listen to you. The APC chieftain claimed that Labour Party governorship candidate was part of those that turned their back on his own Yoruba people and conspired to hand over Lagos to the Igbos. According to him, some Igbos were subjected to torture in the southeast during the presidential election due to their support for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Fallacy. Foul. This one is a propaganda and lie from the pit of hell. Fani Kayode, however, confirmed that Rose Vival is from one of the oldest and most distinguished indigenous families of Lagos State. However, some netizens have slammed the APC stalwart over his attack on the Labour Party governorship and linking him with the destruction of properties in the state during the NSAS protest. See some of the reactions below, and we are going to take a little of your time to show you and to read out the reactions of netizens over this very attack. At Adeolu, Savage wrote, "If Badebo calls you for one corner, buy you food, you go start to the sing in praise. Alatunje Niyen Daddy. We have seen what you said about your current principal and party. I trust your party member are not sleeping with their two eyes closed with you in APC. You terrible backstabber," according to this Instagram handle. At FS Yusuf wrote, "FFK, you are 20 plus older than this guy. Please, can you have some shame?" This one is coming from Yusuf. Then at Papa Riri wrote, "Only hunger can make anyone behave lower and below FFK standards in Nigeria politics. He has dragged all political parties, including his current party. In short, any hungry man politician should be nicknamed FFK from henceforth." When I hear him, and I saw the thing take B. At Brigitomo wrote, "Resorting to name calling is a sign of weakness and defeat. This is very low." At Debin wrote, "Funny, this is coming from the greatest two-faced politicians in Nigeria history. Despite your insignificant attempts to cancel GRV, you can't make a simple point without insulting." He even added "voice of the voiceless" to his bill. It's okay. We hear you very well. At Excellent Spirit wrote, "I'm glad you boldly mentioned that he is a true Yoruba and from one of the oldest and most distinguished families in Yoruba land. That is all we need to know." At KJ wrote, "Femi Fani Kayode, the Oga Patapata of Shameless, the man who is ready and willing to sell his conscience, body and soul for a ball of cereal. You are the definition of the word disgrace and disgusting." That's how they talk this one. You shouldn't be in a lab. Okay, you should be kept in a lab for those who want to study on how to be shameless. Now, wow, this one, it took me. At Abisoye wrote, "At real FFK, you yourself are an embarrassment to your children. See what you have been reduced to. Now you are praising the Rhodes Vival family. So when GRV wins, you will shamelessly carry aluminium plates there. Olorin Buruku ni yensa." Okay, say imbi Olorin Buruku. While I know the finish you at Advo wrote, "At real FFK, when a man loses his character, he has lost everything. Doesn't it bother you that your character rating is now at 0 point?" Oh boy, this one took me well. As we are waiting, so let us read this news. Where this man, I don't know what your wife do. I'm saying simply because the woman no open gate on time. Now so he goes struggle this woman to death. He don't use his hand buying his own woman. Now, the end of all these things, the end of it all. Now, had I know, it must only come at last. Man strangles pregnant wife to death for refusing to open gate on time. Pregnant woman for that matter. An Anambra State Police Command has apprehended one Atiku Obiora for allegedly murdering his pregnant wife in Otolo Nnewi South local government area of the state. It was gathered that the suspect strangled the deceased to death. Obiora reportedly killed his wife, Ebere Obiora, on Thursday, March 2, 2023, after she refused to open the gate for him on time. Not that she refused, maybe as a pregnant woman she is slow. Please correct that language. Admitting to the crime, Atiku reportedly told his in-laws, and he was angry when he returned home and his wife refused to open the gate on time. He explained that when she opened the gate, He first started to slap her before angrily grabbing her neck and strangled her to death. A pregnant woman for that matter. He says, I returned home in the morning of March 2 of 2023 and was knocking at the gate, but my wife did not open immediately. In that anger, I started shouting at her. I first slapped her and hit her from the gate to the house before angrily grabbing her on the neck and strangled her to death. I couldn't believe what happened because I never expected that such actions would lead to her death. Yeah? Okay, now, police. Police will handle your case, and had I know will be the end result. I eventually abandoned the corpse and left out of fear and confusion after confiding in a few persons who I sought advice on what to do. Yeah? Okay, now you will do what? You will reap the fruits of your labor. That is the thing. Nigeria must insist on Mahmoud Sake. Kenneth Okonkwo reacts at INEC suspends Sokoto rec. A spokesman of the Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council, Kenneth Okonkwo, has called for the sack of the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC chairman Mahmoud Yakubu. Nigeria News earlier reported that the Sokoto State Resident Electoral Commission rec Nura Ali was asked by the INEC to stay away from the office. The electoral body gave the directive 4 days before the governorship and House of Assembly elections across the country. The commission asked him to stay away and hand over the administrative secretary of the commission, Hauwa Kangiwa, to take full charge of his office in Sokoto with immediate effect. Meanwhile, a source that spoke with Daily Trust on the development said, you know, a lot of hitches were recorded during the last election, late arrival of materials at polling units and improper conduct of poorly trained ad hoc staff. And you know Sokoto is very difficult state when it comes to conduct of elections. The state requires a highly experienced and capable hand to manage its elections. The controversy during the last election is the major reason the commissioner was asked to step down while a highly experienced team was deployed to manage governorship and other elections in the state. Reacting, the Nollywood actor Kenneth said, if INEC could take such action against Sokoto rec, then Nigerians must insist on Mahmoud sack, including the Lagos State rec, for allegedly stealing from Nigerians. He wrote, Mahmoud INEC has sacked Sokoto and Abia recs where they said PDP and Labour Party won for breaches of the law. Can someone tell me what Mahmoud is waiting for before sacking himself and the Lagos and Rivers recs where APC and INEC officials openly stole Nigerians? Nigerians must insist on their sack. We must recover our mandate freely given to us on February 25th by the Nigerian people, and that is what we are working on. P2B, you don't receive the female Federal Capital Territory Senator elect King Ibe photos emerged on the CM. That's what it take be. The presidential standard bearer of the Labour Party P2B has congratulated the female senator elect of the Federal Capital Territory who won the seat under the party's platform, King Ibe. Nigeria News reported that King Ibe was part of the senators elect who received their certificate of return from the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC on Tuesday. The chairman of INEC, Mahmoud Yakubu, presented the certificate to the winners of the just concluded senatorial elections held on February 25th at the National Coalition Center International Conference, Abuja. In a tweet via his Twitter account on Tuesday evening, Obi said the emergence of King Ibe as the senator-elect for the Federal Capital Territory is in keeping with the party's commitment to women and youth. The former governor of Anambra State, who also shared photos of himself and King Ibe, said Nigerians will look forward to her diligent service and contribution toward the nation building. He wrote a very hearty congratulations to Senator-elect Mrs. Ireti King Ibe, the second elected female senator for the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Her election is in keeping with our commitment to women and youth. We look forward to your diligent service and contribution towards nation building. According to Gregory.